The Infinite Tabs podcast is brought to you by The Joy Revival, a community created to inspire you to choose joy.
Each week, we'll bring you 2 episodes, one dedicated to how we believe that Jesus is the source of our hope and our joy. Another episode is dedicated to all the things, the good, the bad, and the dumpster fires.
But in the midst of it all, we can still choose joy.
Welcome to the Infinite Tabs podcast. I am Stacy Filipkowski.
And I am Megan Sanchez, and we are thrilled that you are here for our very first podcast.
So excited. So excited. Before we get started, I just want to explain really quick, being that this is our first episode, the format will be a little bit different. We just want to give you an idea of who we are, how we met, and what to expect moving forward. And we also want to tell you a little bit about what the Joy Revival is, because you're listening to the Infinite Tabs podcast, so you might be a little confused about what that is, and we want to give you some clarification on that. So Megan, you want to tell us a little bit about you and your life and all the things you got going on?
All the things. Yes. So my husband, Drew, and I have been married for 14 years. We have 4 children. Our oldest daughter, Kobe, is 12. Our son, Cooper, is almost 11. Our daughter, Macy, just turned 9. And our youngest daughter, Lainey, will be 7 in just a few weeks.
Busy mama.
Yes.
And you're homeschooling.
And we're homeschooling, yes. We live in Northern California in a small town, and we moved here back in July of 2021. And we were living in the East Bay for 10 years, but God called us up here, which is a story for another day. But this is where we're at right now. I homeschool. I have a side hustle with doTERRA, and Stacy and I are here together starting the Joy Revival and this podcast. And we love that we get to be together doing it.
Even though we're 2,800 miles away.
Good heavens.
Oh, and we'll be able to explain that to you guys at some point, but just want to give you a little bit of who I am. I am married to Matt. We've been married for going on 22 years.
Wow.
And that's a long time.
A really long time.
Clearly, we were married when we were 12.
Yep, obviously.
We have 2 boys, 19. Ben is 19 and Austin is 16. And I'm officially, I've been the shortest one in the family for a while now, and I'm not even short. So,
you're not.
I have very tall people in my life.
Yes, grown men.
So a little bit about me is that I have 17 jobs. Maybe
literally.
not really. Me close to it. Yeah, no. So I've been a real estate agent for 8 years. I've been a photographer for 14 years. And now my family, we own a media production company. So those are all the things that we do. And one of them's got to go. I'm not going to say which one. So we're currently in Northern Michigan, and we also just moved up to the northern part of Michigan in November. We've grown up in Michigan. We took a 3-year stint to California to help plant a church, which is where Megan and I met. She was also there to help launch this church. And I think we met at one of the get-togethers, the women.
Yeah, it was the women's event. It was like a Christmas event. Actually, Stacy, we had to pick gifts. Do you remember we did like that kind of like white elephant gift exchange or whatever? But I think you were supposed to bring nice gifts. I don't know. Maybe some, I don't remember.
I don't either.
However, we had to select a gift. And when it was my turn to go pick one, I picked the one that obviously looked like it was wine because it was a wine bag. Little did I know that there was not wine in the bag, but there were products that were from the company at the time that you had been an ambassador for. And so you came up to me afterwards.
Oh, so you picked my gift?
I picked your gift. That is how.
Well, I don't even remember this.
Yeah. I picked your gift. And that's how, like, you had approached me and like we started talking about specifically the moisturizer that was in there. And then that's when I shared that I was a wellness advocate with doTERRA. And so we already had like some things in common because we were representing companies that cared about health and wellness and that sort of a thing. So,
Okay. That's okay. That's a whole nother level of things that I didn't realize. Thus started our friendship. And we really only hung out about maybe 5 times. Because it's odd. It's odd that we met when we did, because we were at the church together for a little while,
right.
But we hadn't ever interacted because you were in the children's ministry and I was in production. And so we were just in 2 different places.
Yes.
So, but when we did finally meet, we got along really, really well. And then those few times that we hung out, we talked till all hours of the night.
Yes, we did. And it was just so easy. It felt very natural and comfortable. And I honestly felt like we were kindred spirits, like you were my sister, within a matter of hours of us just spending some time together. So I think the kicker was I had come over to your house late one night and we were chatting and you told me, Megan, I might sound a little crazy, but I got a word from the Lord and I need to talk to you about it. So I feel like you need to share this.
Yeah, it was really quite interesting. I got a word from the Lord a few days before that said that, and it was very quick and short. It was like, you will go away. You're supposed to do something together. You and Megan are going to create something together. And you need to go away and I will reveal it to you. Yep. So naturally, well, we got to go away somewhere, right?
Which we did.
Yeah. So you were like, oh, well, my parents have this amazing place in Tahoe. Maybe we could work something out and we could go up there and let's just see what God has in store for us.
And while we may have thought it was going to be something very specific and concrete, and we were kind of toying around with some ideas, truth be told, I think, like looking back 3 years ago, that it was honestly an opportunity for us to just get the ball rolling and allow us to have a more relational interaction at that point to develop our friendship. Because you go away with someone and you're living with them, like in the same space for a matter of time, which was only supposed to be 3 days, turned into 5 because we got snowed in.
But isn't that so? That's cool though. Like when you
Totally.
think about the timing of it all and you think about the fact that like we were already setting in motion moving back to Michigan. So we only had about maybe 6 weeks left in California. And, you know, life is busy. You have 4 kids. I have 2 kids. We're getting ready to move. There would have been no time for us to be that dedicated to that time that we had. And God was like, here, I'm going to sprinkle a little extra snow so you can get a couple more days too.
Yeah, because it very much was, even if we had wanted to come home or needed to come home, we couldn't get out. So it really was an opportunity for us to allow our friendship to develop even more. And while I would say that we walked away going, well, I don't really know what's going to happen, but that was wonderful. And I would love for more things like this, like to be able to happen, like us spending time together and whatever that's going to look like. So I think we both felt like something would happen, but little did we know that it was this, because we were in God's timeline.
Yes.
And we had to wait a little bit.
And so something happened to that and we have to share with you, because I think it's good to put the pieces together when you see something that God has put on your heart, and then to see the full circle moment of it. And a lot of times we live in this space where we want immediate gratification. If we have a prayer, we want to see that prayer answered tomorrow. If we feel like God gave us a word, well, then it must come true like this week. And it just doesn't work like that. It's It's a patience game. It's a trusting game. You've got to trust that he has it and that his timing is perfect. And so to that, I would like to add to the story. So I had put on the calendar February 8th. That was the date that I wanted for the launch of the podcast. And I was really fixated on this date and couldn't figure out why. I was like, what is so significant about this date? And Matt and I were driving around this last weekend, and I was like, I know that when we went to Tahoe, it was in February. And I was like, oh no, oh no. So I got out my phone and I started to search for pictures because I knew we had pictures from that time. That was the only way I could figure out how I could get that date. So I type in February 2019, and the first picture that shows up is you and I in the car getting ready to drive. February 8th. I was like,
I love God's sense of humor.
Okay. So we're recording this on February 8th. So although you may not hear it until the 11th, that was a big moment for me. But the other piece to the puzzle of this is that last week, Megan put something else together, which was when I heard the word, you must go away, I was thinking that it was in that moment. However,
we were on the phone and I said, Stacy, God said, go away. And you're like, yeah, I said, no, go away. Go away. You went away. I went away. You went to the other side of the country and I moved from our space. We went away.
Yeah. What's so interesting to me is that I've been back in Michigan for 2 years. It wasn't until we both were obedient and moved away from our comfort zones. You moved away to the country. I moved up to land. So it's very interesting. And that's only been 3 months since I've been here.
Correct.
So we really had to go away.
No, we had to go away. It was allowing us to, I look at it as taking a leap of faith, because you guys took that leap of faith. You were like, buying land wasn't something that, that decision. When you told me, you're like, oh, by the way, we bought 35 acres. I was like, what? And it wasn't something that necessarily you guys had been talking about and praying about for all these years or anything like that. It was just the Lord had placed it on your heart and you felt like we needed to be obedient. And this is where we were supposed to go. And with Drew being at the school that he was at for 10 years, he knew in his heart of hearts, I'm done. My time here is done, but I don't know where I'm supposed to go. So when he signed his letter of intent saying, I will not be returning, he literally he talked to me about it. And I said, I totally agree. And I'm in support of you. He did not have a job. He didn't technically have a job for 6 months. And then when the job not far from here, because it's just one town over, was offered to him, he told me, he's like, Megan, the Holy Spirit was so thick during that interview. This is the job, and I haven't even been offered the job. And then 3 hours later, he got a phone call, and they were like, we need you. We want you. Yeah. And I mean, both of us are in tears because we're like, the Lord totally provided, but we had to take the leap of faith. So I look at where we're at right now in our journey and how this happened. It's like we both took a leap of faith in our family life, and then together we're taking a leap of faith in this because we really believe that this space, this community, the Joy Revival is something that we need. The world needs this right now.
Can you tell me what the Joy Revival is?
Oh, let me tell you what the Joy Revival is. So the Joy Revival is the concept of developing a community. This community is one that we choose joy. We offer encouragement and love. We want to meet one another where we are at in whatever circumstance we're experiencing. Some of us will be married. Some of us will not. Some of us will have children. Some of us will not. And honestly, the whole point of this is just for us to come together and just love on each other and be able to point each other to hope, to choosing joy. And when you have a relationship with Jesus, we have hope. And because of that, then we can experience joy, even if our circumstances are garbage and we have all these unfortunate things happening. We get to choose how we respond to the things happening around us. So we get to choose joy. And we decided that this community, the Joy Revival, was something that needs to happen. So there's a larger space. I'll let you kind of go into the space, the community of what it actually is going to offer. But that's what the Joy Revival is it is a community, and we want you to be a part of it.
Yeah, and the name revival, I think, comes from the fact that our joy as a society of humans has been ripped away from us in the last 2 years. And it's been replaced with fear and condemnation and division and hatred, and the list goes on and on. And I think we both were in this space. I know that I was like 6 months ago, just letting everything get to me. I was struggling mentally to understand, even though I know biblically what's going on, it was still struggling with watching it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, if I'm struggling, and not that I'm some special person, but if I'm struggling, someone who I have a good relationship with the Lord, how are other people feeling that might not have that? I mean, where is their hope? And that just made me so sad to think like there are so many people out there that do not have that hope. And so we made the conscious decision a few months ago to choose joy, and that we were both kind of like, in our social media is like, we're done with this. And although things need to be tackled, because we, as much as we would love to just put our heads in the sand and say, nothing's happening, la, 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 I don't see. We can't do that. We're not called to do that. We're actually called to shed a light on the darkness.
Yeah.
And so we really just were like, we're choosing joy. And then all these people were like, well, I want to choose joy too. And so we could really see the need that this was a space that people need, and people really are craving community. And that's what we have here with the Joy Revival. I'm not going to tell you everything, because I want you to go to the website and check it out, because there's a lot of fun stuff there, and I think you'll have a good time. And
guys, it's a party. It is a party. Let me just tell you, when you go to that website, it is like a blast from the past. You will be stepping back into like the late 90s, early 2000s. The feel is fun. I feel like it's so different than what you're used to seeing, and it's completely different than what you will be experiencing. So we'll tell you a tiny bit more, but honestly, just go visit thejoyrevival.com. Seriously, you will not regret it.
That's right. So we've made a lot of free stuff for you guys. There's resources and videos and a prayer wall and all sorts of stuff. But we also have a members only area. And this was created for a even deeper sense of community, so that you can really dive deep into these relationships that we want you guys to have. And so one of my favorite things about in the members only area is there's a space where you can, it's like a community tracker. So they would go in and they would you would put your zip code in, and then Megan and I can see where everyone's from. And we can be like, hey, Teresa, guess what? We just found 3 other like ladies that are in your area. Do you want to meet up with them? And we'll leave it up to you. We'll never give out your information or anything like that. But how cool to take that virtual community and actually bring it to life within our actual communities, because that's what it's about. And so there's going to be dance parties.
There is.
Oh yeah. There's going to be like cooking classes. Did we say?
Yes, we did. There's no more. They need to just wait.
There's so much.
There's so much, you guys. There's so much that it honestly, Stacy and I are the type of people where it's easy for us to get excited about things. And as we were creating this, it kept snowballing. It was like, oh, we're going to start with these 3 things. And I think we're up to like 12, maybe 15. Like the ideas just kept flowing. We were like, we need to do this, and we need to do this, and this, and this. And we just want the space to be so inexplicably fun and full of love that you can't help but choose joy when you are a part of this. So we recognize that.
I got to say one more thing.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were in a 1999 community chat room?
1999, probably.
That's what I'm saying. There is a chat room. It looks like it's from 1999.
It's sensational. It's absolutely sensational. It even says loading when you get to it. I love it. Oh, I love it so much.
All right, Megan, can I give them one more sneak peek about what's in the members only section?
Yes,
please?
Stacey, you got to give him one more sneak peek because this is a good one.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have. Sorry. I'm so excited. I can't even talk.
I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm so excited.
Okay, calm down. It's gonna be bi-monthly coffee chats and wine not nights.
Woohoo!
Because
why not?
You're gonna want to be there. And
100%.
Yeah. And we'll be doing that over Zoom. So that's all you would need. That, coffee or wine, depending on which one we're doing, and you're all set.
You're all set.
So yeah, we're just excited. And there's other things for you guys to check out. I mean, we have courses that can really help you get into a deep relationship with God. So it's fun, it's a party, but it's also there to help you grow spiritually. And like you said, to kind of touch on this, we just kept adding things. Well, therein lies the infinite tabs creation.
Dun, da, da, da.
Is that you guys know that sound clip, if you've heard it, where it says, my mind is like an internet browser. I have 28 tabs and constantly they're all open and running. If you opened my computer right now, you open Megan's. Mm-hmm. How many tabs? I bet. Well, I was going to say you should check. We could have a competition, but I did just restart my computer. So
I had to also. So I think there's 4 that are up. But normally, I mean, I'm not exaggerating. There is a minimum of 10 to 12 things open at all times.
Yes.
Just how we are.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the thought when we were thinking about, let's make this podcast. And people keep telling you in the business world, they tell you to niche down. You got to have one thing that you talk about. And Megan and I are like, we don't want to talk about one thing.
That's not fun.
That's not fun at all. But we want to talk about Jesus and we want to talk about all the other things. And so why can't we do both? And that's exactly what we're going to do. So some weeks, or actually all weeks, we're going to put out 2 episodes. One is going to be dedicated to Jesus, all Jesus. And the other is just going to be whatever the topic is for that day.
Yes. And it's going to, I mean, these topics that we've come up with, some are going to be extremely interesting, like actually providing lots of like educational type stuff, but then some they're going to be maybe a hot mess in terms of like, there's dumpster fires in the world, guys. So there will be some things that we discuss that may not be quite as fun, but they are definitely important and worth sharing. We also hope to be able to have some of you jump on the podcast. We would love to have guests come on and speak. We've talked about sharing specific people's testimonies, and you can submit those to us. There's a whole bunch of things. We are dreaming this up, and it is as big as the sky, and hence our name, Infinite Tabs. Like there's just so many things happening and going on, and we're excited. We're really excited that we're here and we get to do this and that you get to be along this journey with us.
Yes. Okay. So those are all the things. That's who we are. It's how we met. A little bit about the Joy Revival and what you can expect moving forward with Infinite Tabs. So before we close this up, we love to give away things. And so we are giving away our exclusive launch are we doing sweatshirts?
Yes,
Oh,
sweatshirts.
see, ooh, you're going to want to be in on this.
Woohoo!
And I'll put a link to it so you can check it out and see what it looks like. But if you want one and you want to be put in the giveaway, what do you have to do?
We are asking that you either share this podcast or something from our Instagram page, which is launching as well. So everything will be launching at the same time. You'll have the podcast, you'll have the Joy Revival website, as well as the Joy Revival Instagram page. So if you want to be entered into the giveaway, share something from our Instagram on into your stories and tag us at the Joy Revival, and you will be put into the drawing for the Choose Joy sweatshirt, which
Yes.
is so stinking cute. I
It is.
promise you.
Yeah. I can't wait to get ours. We
I
won't
know.
even have ours yet.
I know. So excited about that.
Okay. And then lastly, we want to share a Bible verse with you.
So this is from James 1, verse 2, and it says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds." Friends, we don't expect you to have it all together. We don't expect that your life is perfect and that you will always walk around with a smile on your face, because the reality is we are humans, we are flawed, we are sinful, and sometimes bad things happen, sometimes sad things happen, and that's part of being human on this earth. However, we have an opportunity to choose joy regardless. So we want you to feel encouraged. We want you to know that it's okay to be human and have emotions and feel sad or depressed or anxious or mad. All of those things are normal, but it's how we react to those emotions in our circumstances, and we can still choose joy.
Mm-hmm.
We can choose the attitude that we carry forward.
Absolutely. Well, this has been amazing. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for listening, for your support. We just want to leave you with this. We know that life happens, the good, the bad, and the dumpster fires.
But in the midst of it all, we can still choose joy. Thanks, everybody.
Till next time.